Hello guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. Let's get rid of that 1 second there. So the 3D market commentary, for those of you that might have never joined us before, is essentially a 15-20 minute video that we do every day, Monday to Friday, to expand on an email that we send every day, Monday to Friday. And on that email is some information on major markets in the world where we look at 3 major elements. That's why we call it a 3D market commentary. So we'll get to that in a second. Now, just to make sure firstly that we have the disclaimers top left hand side, please read them, not just for legal reasons, but also to understand what you can expect from this type of video. Now, my name is Becky. My email address is down here. We've got becky@tradictive.com. There's also support@tradictive.com, so you can email us on either one of those if you have questions or anything like that. Now, one thing to say just before we start, let's bring this up. Here we are. Cool. Is if you go to tradewithufos.com/Becky, if you do have questions, you can email me, but this link is probably better to do it, and I'll show you why. So down here you can log in for free into a free membership, and you can ask questions here in a public space. The good thing with this is that it means other people can see the questions and other people can see the answers. So we all learn together from using this environment. So if you feel comfortable to do so, please ask your questions here. Otherwise you can email me. Now from this link, you can also get one-on-one coaching with me if you'd like. And you can get some different apps on here as well. So yeah, go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. You should be able to find a lot of help there. Okay, so let's bring up, I said that we look at an email every day. So let's bring that up, and obviously it's relevant to market information as well. Now, obviously last week was Thanksgiving, so hopefully you guys did have a great Thanksgiving on the Thursday and got loads of deals and bargains on the Friday, Black Friday. Now, we're actually looking at Friday's 3D market commentary here, so there might be slight differences from what we see on our email versus what we see on the charts, but I'm sure they're pretty much going to be the same. So I said it was a 3D approach that we looked at 3 major elements. So what we do is firstly we look at the market climate, which means where do we have probabilities? Where's the upcoming market direction? Is it likely to go up? Is it likely to go down? Or is it likely to go nowhere? So we use an app to help us with this. It's called AutoClimate. It's a free app. On most platforms you can get it on. And what AutoClimate does is it tells us where the probability lies. So if we have a thick red dot, that tells us probability is downwards. So we should be more likely to sell. If we have a thick blue dot, that tells us probability is upwards. So we should be more likely to buy. And if we have a thin dot of either colour, that tells us not enough probability either way, in which case do nothing. So that's the first thing we look at is market climate, and we'll look at this per market. Now the second thing we look at is where do we have unfilled orders? What we mean by that is where are lots of buyers and where are lots of sellers? Now that's helpful because the more buyers there are in a market, the more likely it is the price goes up. The more sellers there are in a market, the more likely it is the price goes down. So again, we want to know where they are so we can figure out where we buy and sell. And again, we use technology. We use an app to help us with this. In this case, it's called the AutoUFO app, and it shows us the little green UFOs with the prices on the right-hand side highlighted. That's where the buyers are. The little red UFOs with the prices on the right-hand side highlighted, those show us where the sellers are. So we'll look at that per market as well. And then we'll look at market volatility, essentially how quickly we can expect these markets to move up or down. So let's move on to the first market that we'll look at today, which is the S&P 500, top 500 US stocks. That's what we're looking at here. Now, with the S&P 500, we have, it's different than what it was on Friday, we have a thick red dot, probability to the downside. So if we have probability down, it means we should be more likely to sell. Now saying that as well, we have sellers just above us between 4740.5 to 4649. Now with that, if price were to come up and hit this stack of sellers, we would expect that price would move down from there. And we're very close to that stack of sellers now. So again, more things pointing to the downside here with the S&P. Now we have buyers here at 45.51.5 to 45.15.25. So if price were to come down and hit that stack of buyers, we'd expect them to push price up. So for the time being, we have selling pressure coming from the climate and sellers closer to us. So overall probability down here with the S&P. Now, by the way, just because we say something is probable doesn't mean it's definite. Nothing is ever confirmed, guaranteed in life, especially not in the markets. So, of course, we manage our risk just in case we're wrong. And we may even layer other things on top of this to increase our probabilities. But at least to start with, we don't want to start doing anything unless we at least have probabilities in one direction or the other, which is why we use this technology to help us out. Now, last thing with the S&P 500 is we want to know how quickly we expect it to move. We'd expect that it would move up or down in 1 year by 25.78%. So in 1 day, that's 75.06 points up or down. In a week, it would be 165.23 points up or down. And in a month, 243.95 points up or down. So that's the S&P 500. Now, the next market we have is crude oil. Now, as I load this, just check out up there the different courses that we do. You can go to our website and see the different courses that we do. Most of them come with a free 3-month access to the apps. Now, AutoClimate is a free app on most platforms. You get it on anyway. AutoUFOs is a paid-for app, a subscription model, which, as I said, comes for free for 3 months with a lot of our courses. You can just subscribe directly for the AutoUFOs if you want to. You don't have to do a course, but most of the time it's actually cheaper to get a course, get them for free, than it would be to just do the UFOs, if that makes sense. But check that out depending on what's best for you. So coming back to our charts, we're looking at oil. We have a confirmed downwards climate, so same as last week, probability downwards. We are overextended to the downside. We have gone about twice as far as what is normal. So bear in mind we are overextended, but still very much probability to the downside. We have buyers all the way down here at 60.77 to 58.73. And we have sellers all the way up here at 79.23 to 77.98. And we're in the middle here, right? We're at 71-ish. So slightly closer to the sellers, but far enough away from both of these guys for them to really have any push today or any effect today. So overall probability down, and that's coming from the climate itself. Now in terms of volatility, we'd expect oil to move up or down in 1 year of 34.79%. So in a day, that's 1.6 points up or down. In a week is 3.53 points up or down. And in a month, 7.34 points up or down. So that is oil. Moving on to the next market, which is gold. Now, as I load this, it says about coaching and support. We offer a lot of coaching and support for free. So join us on YouTube and Facebook, LinkedIn, where we post these videos for free. Please do access as many of them as you can. Of course, they are free. Now, we do have a closed coaching community, which is a small monthly fee for access to essentially longer videos and more coaching and support. But check that out if that's of interest to you. If not, like I said, we do have a lot of free stuff. So with gold, we have confirmed downwards climate, probability to the downside, still within what would be a normal move to the downside, so still room for it to go down. We have sellers here, 1873.3 to 1844.2, and buyers down here at 1652.8 to 1624.4. Overall, closer to the sellers, still quite a way off for them to really do much today. Overall, selling pressure here coming from the climate, probability downwards with gold. Okay, next market is the US dollar. Now the US dollar is responsible for about 80% of transactions worldwide every day. So be aware of it, whether you trade it or not, it will probably impact a lot of the markets that you do trade. So with the dollar, again, different today than what we had last week, we have a thin dot there. That tells us not enough probability either way, do nothing. There's no point trading if we don't at least have confirmed probability one way or the other. Now we do have buyers down here at 95.595 to 94.965. We have sellers up here at 96.94 to 96.66. We're kind of in the middle, unlikely to see either of those stacks of orders make a difference today. And again, unconfirmed climate as anyway. So basically, keep away from the dollar. Now with volatility, we would expect that the US dollar would go up or down in 1 year by 6.91%. So in a day, that's 0.42 points up or down. In a week, 0.92 points up or down. And in a month, 1.92 points up or down. That's the dollar. The last market that we'll look at is backed Bitcoin. So let's take a quick look at that. Now, just as I'm squishing that, it says down here about a top trader. We have our own platform, TRADDICTIV Options Planner. If you trade options or stocks or both, really, really great platform for that. You can also use it for analysis on Forex and futures as well. So if you want to check that out, you can go to our website, or of course you can click on that link. So back to Bitcoin, we have thick red dot, probability down, confirmed downwards climate. We have sellers up here at 66,375 to 62,792.5. And we have buyers all the way down here at 49,702.5 to 47,450. Very far from either of these stacks of orders. Unlikely again to see them do anything today. So overall, probability to the downside is coming there from the climate. Now, with volatility, we would expect that Bitcoin would go up or down in 1 year by 113.16%. So in a day, that's up or down of 3,884.98 points. In a week, 8,552.4 points up or down. And in a month would be 17,803.23 points up or down. So for each of these markets, we've now looked at all 5 of them that we were going to look at. For each of them, we've looked at market climate. Where do we have probabilities? Up, down, or nowhere? And therefore, should we be more likely to buy, sell, or do nothing? We've also looked at buy and sell UFOs. Where do we have buyers that could push price up? And where do we have sellers that could push price down? Understanding where we might be buying and selling. And volatility as well, how quickly we expect these markets to move to give us an idea of up or down the speed at which we would expect these markets to move around. Now, one more thing to look at before we round off, which is our weekly economic calendar. We get this from fxstreet.com and we filter by high impact news, meaning we want to know which scheduled news reports are likely to come out, that are coming out, are likely to have a high impact on the markets. Now, this is last week's data, so let's just open up here the live version of fxstreet.com's economic calendar. And we will do the very same thing. So we will filter. So select all countries. These are all sort of major economies. Filter by high impact news. And we'll look at it for the next week. So December the 6th. That would be a week. Okay. So today being Monday, November 29th, we have some news coming out on Canadian markets, US markets and Chinese markets moving on into the afternoon. So this is in Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so this is coming into the afternoon and evening in the States. Be aware if you trade Canadian markets, including the Canadian dollar, US markets, including the US dollar, and Chinese markets, including the Chinese yuan. So let me come back to our news flash. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can get hold of us through here. Click on the links, go through to the website. You can email me, becky@tradictive.com, or you can go to, let's bring it up. There we are. tradewithufos.com/Becky. From here, you can get different apps and platforms. You can book one-on-one coaching if you'd like, and you can come down here and ask questions in this community environment, which enables us to answer them there, and everybody learns from this space. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving over in the States. I'll be back on Thursday this week. My colleague Boyan will be taking this session Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'll see you on Thursday. Hopefully you guys have a great start to your trading week, and